right, Josh, welcome to Bourbon MBS, my
Uh,
man.
let's go. Let's go.
Oh, look at you! You got yours hidden. Now, look,
Mm.
for those of you that don't know Josh, no, I'm just kidding. There's nobody that doesn't know Josh. Josh, so Josh is the founder of Shred, a media agency that's also helping other organizations get their media out right, and is crushing it. I've known Josh now. What's going on? 2-3 years now?
Yeah, at least 3 years for sure.
Yeah. And it's been such a blast to know you. And so, we start every conversation here with what are you drinking? And I saw your cup, but it's covered. So tell us what you got in there. And we've had many people, because I think you're one of them. We've
Yep.
had many people that do non-alcoholic beverages on our show. I
Yep.
feel I feel like you might be one of them.
I am one of them. I don't do the alcohol thing, been down that road. But so what I am drinking is from our good friends at Mountain Ops. It's pink lemonade ignite. So I'm kind of a health kick too. So
Yeah.
energy drinks, I try to stick away from them. I drink Mountain Dew every once in a while, but this is actually a proprietary blend that gives you a little bit of caffeine, a little bit of focus in it. So about this time every day, about 3 o'clock, I usually throw down a Mountain Ops. So that's what is in my Rambler today is
Nice.
some pink
And so,
lemonade.
okay, so tell me this a little bit. Let's
Yeah,
let's dive in because I want to get into your health and everyone, as you know, has commented on your physique at one point or another. What what when you say there's a blend of like is this when you say proprietary, is this someone that you know personally? Is
I
this
do. Yeah,
yeah?
these
What are they doing?
Jordan and Casey Harbison are actually the founders and creators of Mountain Ops. You've
Sorry,
told
guys, I'm not drinking that right now, but I
it's
will.
for sure. So again, growing up in Utah, being where I live in the mountains of Utah, outdoors has always been a big thing to me, and outdoor performance, hiking, being outside a lot where, you're doing a lot of strenuous activity, being able to replenish your body with the right vitamin supplements, the things that you need to continue to go for long distances. That's always been a big thing to me. So Jordan Casey brothers started the company. They came out with this. And I've been a huge fan of it since they introduced it to me probably 4 or 5 years ago. And pink lemonade, they've got all kinds of flavors, but I'm a lemonade guy. I don't know why, but lemonade is just one of those things. I don't know if it's nostalgia so much because like as a kid, like lemonade stands, like I don't know what it was, but yeah. So it is a proprietary blend of theirs that's designed to, especially this time. Again, we've all done the 5 hour energy shots or
Yeah, yeah.
energy drink or whatever it is, but I have found in particular this one it helps me focus towards the end of the day because we're kind of burned out. We're kind of like, all right, like it's
Yeah.
time to start winding down. But for this, it gives me those last couple of hours really, really dialed in. Plus, I like to drink it because it gives me that sustained energy. So when I go home, I'm not completely burned out. Like my kids, they want to see me. My wife's excited to see me. So I'm not completely just fizzled out. Like, I just want to kick back and hang with the family. I still got a little bit of focus when I'm home with the
So
kids.
does it give you so Josh, does it give you like a quick kick, like you're like, "Ooh, I'm up and ready to go," or is it one of those gradual but consistent, those are the best?
Gradual but consistent. So they have some of those like quick hits like that. It's just like whoa, boom, let's
Yeah,
go. But
yeah.
this one, like I said, this one kind of continues to go throughout the evening, and then usually about 7 o'clock is it usually lasts for a good 4 or 5 hours for me. Then I gradually start to kind of come down from it and then start to wind down for bed. But this is one of those where it's a gradual. So like drinking, I started drinking about 20 minutes ago, and I'll probably finish it as we're drinking here. But yeah, it gives me that gradual, sustained energy and focus throughout the day. Whoa, boom, let's
Yeah.
go.
Whoa, boom, let's go.
Yeah, by the way, we're gonna isolate that. Whoa, let's go, and we're gonna use that somewhere. I like
Do it,
that.
dude.
That's
Let's
that's
do
that.
it.
We're gonna send it to these brothers. They're gonna use that somewhere. So listen. So you look like somebody that cares about health. I got to hear this. I'm sure everyone is curious. By the way, everyone that's listening, sorry, we're throwing all the questions out the window here. This is Josh. We're gonna riff. If there's anyone that can keep a conversation going, get things exciting, it's Josh. So we're just gonna riff. Josh, talk to me. Talk to me. Like how like what is the process? How did you get into wanting to stay healthy in this type of shape? And then what is your thing? Like what do you do? How do you stay in shape?
The biggest thing for me, and I'm truly honest with this, is about 4 years ago, I was in terrible shape. I was up to 250 pounds. I was traveling a lot. I was eating terribly. Fast food was a big staple just because, again, it was easy. It was right there at my fingertips. So I got way overweight. And you know what? My wife loved me no matter what. She, spouses most of the time do. They're just like, you know what? I support you and whatever. But she's always been this tiny little petite like figure. So I'm like, you know what? I want to get in shape for her and for my kids too. My kid was my first kid was, she was like 3 at the time and she was all over the place. So I'm like, I got to get healthy for her. And we had another one on the way. So I'm like, I want to get healthy. So honestly, Alex, I just started making little changes. It wasn't big. It wasn't like these drastic changes. It's funny because people are like, well, you must have like literally changed your diet completely, like 100%. And I changed little things, but I just started having a more healthy eating habits. The biggest thing for me that I found, and everybody's body's different, but I had heard, I've tried intermittent fasting. I've tried keto diets. I've tried this and this, but I found when it comes to a diet, you can never sustain a long-term diet. But for me, what I found that my body did really well with is I eat a lot during the day. Like I eat probably 6 or 7 like small meals during the day. I typically don't eat like your typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like I'll do right when I get up, I'll do like a shake. And then usually around, 10 o'clock, I'll do some food or some protein. And then, 1. So I do a lot of
shake, like a protein shake, or you'll
protein
eat
shake.
like tuna fish. Okay. Shake. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Shake.
Keep going.
Yep. Shake. So, and then again, and then I have like right here, I've got different nuts. I've got a mixture of nuts. I've got a whole bunch of different like vegetables. I'm all about eating fresh. And me and my wife.
What's the best nut, by the way? What's your favorite? Let's answer this for everyone.
If I'm going to go favorite nut, I got to go cashews. I don't know why. Cashews are my jam. But here's what I do, Alex. I put my own little spin on them. So I'll go to Costco and get their unsalted nuts. You can just get their raw unsalted nuts. The cheapest place you can find them is at Costco. But then I've made my own little Tabasco mixture for them. And I found this, I think it was on Pinterest or something, dude. But I found that a little bit of salt, a little bit of Tabasco. I roast them for about 45 minutes at 325. And then, dude, they got a little kick to them. Like they're just great. Yes, it added a little more sodium to them, but I'll take it, dude. So
I love it. By the way, cashews, I second that. Hey, anyone that's listening that wants to put their favorite nut in the comments, go for it. By the way, close second. I mean, it's the Kentucky Derby race close. Okay, is the almond.
I agree. 100%. Yeah. Well,
you're the same way.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And what's cool with almonds is like you can find them. What is it, blue almond or blue or whatever the packaging is? They have
I know what you're talking.
Flavors of them. Like you got wasabi and you got salt and vinegar and barbecue. Like, so totally.
I bought some that were too hot before. By the way,
me too.
I'm like, oh, it's just an almond with some hot sauce. Yeah, it's like spitting fire.
But what I found with almonds, Alex, is you have to actually find a brand that doesn't over dry them. Because have you ever had those almonds that like just like soak up the moisture in your mouth that you're like, bull, like you almost have to have.
I don't know if I have.
Oh, dude, if you buy cheap almonds somewhere, like never buy, and no hit up, like no bash against Walmart, but like Walmart has this bag of almonds that's super cheap that I threw a handful in my mouth and I couldn't finish them. It was like the saltine challenge. Like it literally sucks the moisture out of your mouth. I'm like, so anyway.
You were like the lizard Rango.
Rango. I love Rango. Heck yeah. Yeah. It sucks the moisture right out.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, we were just going through this. You wake up, you have a meal, then you have a shake, then you have some nuts here. So that's 3 or 4. And then what else? You said like 5 or 6 throughout the day. What else will you have?
Yeah. So then I typically I'll have some type of vegetable. I always have fresh vegetables. My wife and I tried actually going plant-based for a while, which was very difficult for me, especially being a hunter. So our agreement was anything I harvested with my own hand and I processed, we would eat that meat. So we had some deer and some elk and some other game that we harvested. And I personally
I love that.
So I knew there was no antibiotics, no hormones, all free range. We raised a cow this year. So that was kind of an interesting experience. But
so cool.
So I don't love fruit. Not a lot of people know this about me. I hate fruit. Like, I don't know why, but I'm not. Yeah, I just don't love fruit. Like I'll eat an apple every once in a while. Every once in a while I'll eat some fresh pineapple. But then throughout my day, again, I'll usually throw in some type of usually some type of protein other than I don't love tofu, but like a plant-based protein. There's a lot of plant-based protein bars or something like that. I'll throw that in there. But the biggest thing that I've watched now, and here's with everybody.
Because you're also fit though. Just eating is one thing, but you're more than just eating. So
yeah,
keep
you
going.
have to have some type of regimen of workout. So my very first thing I do when I get up is I work out. Before I do any protein, before I do anything, is I do a 15 to 20-minute workout. I'm not a gym rat. I'm not one of those
Yeah.
guys who spends hours and hours at the gym. I truly believe, and actually me and my wife did a group for a while called Fit Pits. Get it? Fit Pits. I know, right?
That's cool.
And we proved that even with our friends, these was just close friends and family, that with 15 to 20 minutes of exercise first thing in the morning, that you could keep your body healthy and fit. Some of our really close friends, me included, I lost 65 pounds. Some of our other really close friends lost 20, 30, 40 pounds just by doing 15 to 20 minutes a day, just being consistent with it. And again, you didn't have to bust your ass. You just had to do a little bit of cardio, a little bit of movement, and getting that blood circulating first thing in the morning was huge. The other biggest thing for me, Alex, and sounds cliche, but it's true, water.
Yeah.
I drink a shit ton of water.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I drink an insane amount of water. I pee all the time, but it's a big
Yeah.
thing. Like, you have to continually flush everything out of your body.
My wife says this every day. She's like, just drink more.
And it sucks. Like, trust me, everybody's like, well, I hate drinking water. I love water, but find something else. Put lemon in it, put lime in it, like whatever you want to do. Find something and drink water. But I promise you, if nothing else, we did this experiment. This is legit. And we actually have the data on this. We have one of our really good friends he said, but dude, I love Coke Zero. I love Mountain Dew. I still want to drink it. And I said, great, dude, keep drinking it, but just match as much as whatever Mountain Dew or Coke that you drink during the day, match it with water, and let's just see what happens. He did that. He lost 25 pounds. That's the only thing he changed, was just water, bro. Just water.
That's amazing. I mean, listen.
And it didn't happen overnight. I'm not saying it happened in a month. It happened over about 6 months, but he lost 20. Like, he didn't change his diet. All he changed was water, bro. And it like
the intake of water.
Yep. Because
water is life, man. It's life.
100%.
It's life.
It flushes your system out. It flushes all the crap out of you, like literally the crap out of you, but it also flushes like all the negativity, all the things that stick in your body, all the sodium. Sodium is a big thing. People don't think about sodium, but water helps flush sodium out. And if you're not getting enough water to flush the sodium out, your body just absorbs water. And then that's why people wonder why they're bloated or they can't lose weight, is because they're having too much water and not too much sodium and not enough water to flush it out.
They're not flushing their system. Yeah, 100%. It's so cool. Listen, everyone that's listening, like, what an amazing piece of information. And this is coming not from some do-it-yourself book you're trying to read or some infomercial. This is coming from Josh. Like this, he's speaking the truth. He's got nothing to gain here. He's just riffing and telling you what's up. And by the way, I agree with all of that. Like, I'm not a gym rat either. I love to do things at home. We've set up a workouts system for our entire team. Every Monday and Friday, some of the best personal trainers in the country do a Zoom a call for us, and we work out with them on the call.
Nice.
On Wednesdays, we do a meditation session. We're looking for a new yoga instructor for everyone, because the one we had just didn't have the energy. That's the best way I'll put it. Didn't have the energy that everyone resonated with. So we're looking for another yoga instructor, which, by the way, Raquel was on with me the other week, and she says she's going to introduce me to a few yoga instructors.
Oh, Raquel Boris?
Really cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. She's got that stuff dialed in.
Yeah, she does. It was fun. Her episode's going to be great. So look, another thing I always thought about you and never asked, and I'm going to ask now, is you look like a dude that used to get into, or maybe still does get into, some extreme sports. Have you ever done extreme sports or anything?
Ton of extreme sports. So I'm being an outdoor enthusiast, something that we do a lot of. We do a lot of rock climbing, like hardcore rock climbing, the stuff that you see like if you've watched Free Solo or the Dawn Wall. So
yeah, my hands sweat just talking about it. Okay.
Yeah, dude. I love it. Love it. We actually have, if you ever watch our Instagram, you'll watch it. We do a lot of free climbing with our kids in our house. I actually built a rock wall in our house. So we have
send me a picture. I want to post it here.
Oh, dude, I'll send you a picture for sure. We just did a live the other night, and my kids, my son, he's just turned 6. He finally I built this huge wall for him, and he finally got to the top last night, and he was stoked about it. He was freaking out.
You made it? What do you mean you made it?
I made it. So actually I mean, Pinterest, DIY, figured it out, made the wall, bought all the holes. I'm not the most hands-on guy in the world. But I could use a saw and a wrench and a hammer now and then. So
no, you look like a handy guy.
Dude, I'm not.
I'm surprised
so
at all.
Not. I'm like, my dad was like Mr. Fix It. My dad was the guy who could literally fix everything. And I'm grateful because, as some people know, I talk about on my show, like my parents and I live together. We live in a beautiful ranch. We live in a beautiful home. And I have the incredible opportunity that we can live together.
Oh, it's awesome.
Our family and my mom and dad live with us. But my dad has always been Mr. Fix It, but I'm not, dude. So this wallet for me was actually a huge accomplishment too, because it was actually something that I did. And so we do a lot of rock climbing. We do a lot of motorcycle riding. We do a lot of jeeping. Me and my wife love to skydive. Actually, that's something that my wife got me into skydiving. So she loves it, and we do it any chance we get. Go skydiving. So
how many jumps have you had?
She has done 4 and I'm on 3. So I know there's people are like, well, that's not that many. But this summer, we finally we booked everything. The COVID sucked. We were so excited to do this. We had it booked. We're both going to get certified so we can both jump ourselves.
Nice.
So it's something that I've always wanted to do. So we want to get certified, both of us, so I can go do multiple jumps. I don't know if I'll ever do base jumping. We have some friends that have done the whole base jumping thing. I don't know if I'll ever go that extreme.
Down the road, it's you got to get there. You got to get there. Right? But take us through your first jump. Take us through this for just 1 second. So I'm talking about you are on your way to the strip, to the airstrip.
Yep.
How are you feeling when you're on the way? Then tell me, like, when you get in the plane, and then give me the play-by-play when the door opens. Like, I got to hear all of this.
Okay, so when we were going there, like, I was trying to play the brave face because my wife had already gone once before me too. So she's like, "You're gonna love it," and I'm like this tough guy, like, "Yeah, of course, it's gonna be awesome." And I'm like freaking out inside a little bit.
This is when this helps.
Yes, that's that liquid courage, man. That helps all the time. So to kind of prelude this before is I used to have terrible fears of flying. Like I spent some time on a church mission down in Panama, and I flew in the tiniest, most rickety planes you've ever imagined. So flying was like, I had a true fear of flying because there was multiple times where I thought for sure my life was done in some of these little planes in storms. So leading up to going skydiving, like, I'm like, oh, I'm sure it will be this great plane and like, no worries. No, dude, we get to this airstrip and this plane is like, I'm like, that's not what we're flying in, right? And these guys are like, oh yeah, like we've done hundreds of flights. And this is no shit, Alex. They had this other plane hanging up in the rafters of their little air hangar. And I'm like, and it's wrecked, totally wrecked. I'm like, so what's up with that? And they're like, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, got a freak wind and we totally wrecked this plane. And I'm like, huh, that's funny. And the guy's like, no, seriously, we wrecked this one like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, holy I'm like, I'm like, babe, we're out.
I'm leaving. We're not dying. This is a bad sign. I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. There's no, like, these guys are just like, they got to be pulling a prank or something. And like, legitimately, like, we're filling out the paperwork and the pilot comes walking out in a boot. Like, he's got like a broken leg. And I'm like,
oh my God. Oh, I'm leaving.
Like,
I'm done.
Yes. I'm like, there's no way. Like, I thought for sure there was a hidden camera, like legit. Yeah. Like, I'm like, okay, who's pranking?
You're like, okay, honey, this was good. This was good.
And I'm looking at her and she's like stone faced, like totally good. So I'm like, she's pranking me. And the guy walks up and he's like, oh, if you guys jump before, this will be fun. And I'm like, you're the guy who crashed the plane. He's like, oh yeah, but it was a freak wind. Nobody died. I just broke my leg. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we're actually going to go fly with these idiots. And sure enough, we did. Like,
crazy.
So I'm freaking out. Like, I'm legit freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. So we get, like, they suit us all up. They harness us all ready to go. We walk out to the plane, like firing it up, and like legit, I kid you not, there are 5 of us in this plane and there should only be 2 people in this plane. Like,
that's how little it is.
Oh my, like, so this guy crams in the back, like he climbs in first, climbs in backwards. Then the other guy climbs in, then my wife climbs in the far side. And then I climb in, and legit, I can't move my arms. I'm like this, dude.
Come on.
No, I'm serious. I have
dude,
pictures.
How are you still doing this?
I couldn't freak out. Like, I couldn't back out. My wife was totally doing
it.
I'm like, I gotta do this, dude. So I have a picture in the plane. I'll post it. I have a picture in the plane, dude. And we have video. I'm like this in the plane, like, just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die like this. Oh no, my headphones came out. Hold on. I can't hear anything anymore. I knocked my headphones. Okay. So I'm freaking out. and I like pulled this completely thing out. So this is what happens when you're live. So I can't hear you. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to fix this here while we're doing this. So I'm in this plane. I'm freaking out, and we take off. And what's crazy at that point is it literally was almost a calming feeling. As soon as I got off the ground, I was like, okay, the worst has happened. Like, we're good. Like, we're already in this plane. I can't back out now. And we're literally going up in this plane, like just circling the airfield, which literally feels like forever. But we get up to this point to where we can see like the whole valley that we're in. And we're in Moab, Utah. If you've ever been to Moab or seen pictures of Moab, beautiful red rock. And we're doing it at the time of morning where everything is just starting to light up and the light is hitting the entire valley. And I literally had this calming sense of like, well, shit, if I die, I'm going out in a very beautiful, like, this is the place to die. Like, I'm just going to go out in flames. So it is what it is. And went up, they opened the door. We're all crammed in here, like freaking out. Like, I'm like, okay, here we go. He opens the door. This thing like swings open, hits the side of the plane. And he's like, hey, you ready? And I'm like, sure. Like, how do I even get out of the plane? He's like, okay, well, it's going to be a little bit sketchy in the beginning because you're going to get to the edge and then I'm going to have to clip onto you. And I'm like, wait, I have to get to the edge and then you're clipping onto me. But sure enough, dude, like so I kind of scoot to the edge of the plane. My feet, I kid you not, are outside the plane before I'm clipped onto this guy. I have no parachute on. No parachute on. So my feet are dangling at the edge of the plane. It's all shaking. And then I feel his legs slide up next to me. He clips on. Anyway, dude, then we jump out and it was absolute bliss. Jump out. It was amazing. We free fall. Your very first jump, they don't let you free fall for too extremely long. We did a free fall for about, I think, 16 seconds. Which doesn't sound like a lot of time, but free falling for 16 seconds is pretty cool. And it's amazing. Like, if you've never done it, I recommend doing it. You won't have the experience that I know you're like, are you insane? I would never in the world, million years, do what you just did.
Never.
But it was probably the best experience I've ever had. It was the coolest thing floating there. And now that we've gone a couple other times, my second and third experience was not like that. It was a really great crew, showed up in a beautiful plane, had multiple people with us. Like, it was really cool. But that first experience, man, that was way longer than you needed to know. But that was my first experience skydiving.
I'm telling you right now, that like no, I'm not swinging my feet out the door of a plane before you hook onto me. Are you nuts? But by the way, our VP of sales, Taylor, has done. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna text her. As a matter of fact, while we're on here, I'm gonna text her. I think she's done like 30 or 40 jumps.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
she
like
loves it.
Dude, that's awesome.
She says there's nothing more exciting, more fun than that.
Ton of fun. Have you done it?
No, I want to.
Dude, you totally should. I was gonna say you would love it. You'd get a rush out of it.
Yeah, and my wife would too. I mean, she does some crazy stuff. And so awesome. So we definitely need to do it. I'm gonna text Taylor and find out exactly how many while we're doing this. But so okay, so let me ask you this, and this is a question that comes up a lot when I think about skydiving. Like, does it feel like you're going down a roller coaster?
Yeah, but more intense. So like that first little drop when you go off a roller coaster, you're like, whoa, you kind of have that butterflies. Yeah. You have that the entire time. It's just like, wow. But when you become weightless, like when that happens, like when you can just feel it, what's funny too is like your face and everything is like, you're going so fast. Like your face is just, you can't imagine how much flesh you have on your face until you watch it in a video too. And your face is just
I gotta see that.
But, no, man, it's unexplainable because you think of a roller coaster, but then when you actually do like you jump out of a plane, you just feel that for so much longer. And it's definitely more intense too.
But because I'm imagining, because you're literally seeing the world, that you feel it, but you're just in such awe that, And then the second time you said it was a cool experience. And like, was it just less scary at that time? And then what's the free fall then? 20, 30 seconds?
Yeah. So we went higher. So we did a 30-second free fall. Same thing with the third one, 30-second free fall. We went a little bit higher. we were in Hawaii when we did that second one, but our second and third one were both in Hawaii.
Oh, that's cool.
So a little bit higher altitude, but
And beautiful. My goodness, you're in Hawaii.
it's beautiful. Plus, the other thing with it too was like being in a plane, being that I had gone through my first experience, I was like, nothing can be worse than that. Like literally, I went through hell on my first jump. So there's nothing that can be worse than that. And the second and third, they were both very, very cool. The pilots were amazing. These planes were beautiful. The second jump that we went in, the plane was like literally like a year old. So it was just gorgeous. There was like 12 seats. We all got in. Like it was exactly like what I pictured it should have been my first time.
Right.
But it wasn't.
Yes. You got the rough one out of the way and
Yeah.
now you did it the right way. Okay.
Yeah.
So Taylor just texted me back. She said 14
Nice.
times.
Nice, dude.
So I gave her more credit. I said 20 or 30, but 14, that's still seems like a serious number for me.
Oh, dude, that's a huge number. By that,
Yeah.
she can, I wonder if she might be jump certified herself because you need 8 jumps before you can actually, so part of the course that you go to, you do 8 jumps right in a row, and then you learn how to pack your chute on all those. But you have to have a minimum of 8 jumps before you can jump by yourself. So I wonder if she might be certified. Maybe she just does it with tandem. Some people that I've talked to, and actually on our second jump, the group that we went with, this group, the one gal had probably, I think 20 or 25 jumps. She never wants to do it by herself. She likes doing it tandem with somebody on her back, which is totally cool.
So I'll tell you a story, not to scare anyone that wants to do skydiving and stuff like that, but a buddy of mine who went skydiving a couple times, and I guess he got his certification, said, I'm going on my own. He went with like 5 or 6 people and he was showing off. He was like, oh, you guys have a dude on your back. Watch this. I'm going on my own. And he opened the chute at the wrong time while he was facing the wrong direction.
No way.
He got tangled in it.
No way.
Falling to the earth, tangled in his own chute, that he got untangled and got down securely, but literally tangled in his own parachute. Can you imagine that?
Oh, dude, that would be terrifying.
They were so the people were like going down to get him, but it was getting to a point where they had to open up their chutes too.
Yeah, they had to say, sorry, man.
And yeah, but he figured it. He figured out how to roll out of it, and it opened up, and he's fine. And he tells the story, but he says he's never going skydiving again after that because it's just too scary for him to think about it. But it was, can you imagine being tangled in your own parachute? That would be crazy.
Oh, dude,
that's why you go with people on your back and you open up at the right time. They said he was just acting foolish, like he was showing off, and it was. And I think, is there such a thing? And you tell me if this is true or not. Is there such a thing where it automatically opens your chute for you if you go past a certain point?
Yeah, there is. Yep. I was gonna say
he was goofing off and he passed the point. And
all new technology has it that eventually, like, it just kicks out your reserve chute. So
that's what happened to him. And so so he didn't even know what was happening, and all of a sudden he's being like flung up, and it caught him. Long story short, he's safe, he's fine, he's good. But that was. What an experience that was.
To all you out there, don't be an idiot while skydiving, right?
Yeah,
don't be a show off.
Exactly right. You're a bullet going down to the earth. Like chill out.
Crazy.
So that's crazy. So I knew you were into some extreme sports. I don't know why. Nobody ever said anything to me. I'm like, when I get a chance to speak to him and really just connect on this level, I want to ask him this. And this is the best place to do. By the way, I must say that was the most exciting story that we've had on this show ever, and I can't wait. I'm gonna make sure that we post that, like the way, like, you started talking and you started telling the whole story and you said it was too long. It was perfect. Like,
oh, thank you.
That is what that to me is why this whole thing exists. I love getting to know people and to have a little drink and just kind of get to know people that you like and enjoy. And there's nothing better. So let me ask you. I do have a question that we ask at every show that we just have to fill this with this.
Of course.
At the end of the year, we're going to count this up. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely.
My man. I think we're winning.
Yep.
There was a few people that gave these beautiful descriptions of how they like to have their pineapples on pizza, but I think we're winning, not by much. On the last episode, I think Raquel said no. Can you believe that?
Dude, I see. Okay, but you're a ham and pineapple guy, right? Not just pineapple, like ham and pineapple?
Ham and pineapple.
Yeah. See, so I tried, my son wanted to try just pineapple. Not so much. Like, you got to have the salty, like, you got to have that ham to kind of to kind of bring it all together. But definitely, I think it's a great combination.
I forget what it's called. Just pineapple on pizza. It's not like it's not a Hawaiian. It's called something else. But I've had that
Yeah.
too. I thought it was great. Also, I've had ham and pineapple, straight up, pineapple and pepperoni,
Oh,
um, pineapple, and there was something else. I can't remember. There was it was another meat, pineapple, another, and it was really awesome. I'm trying to remember. It was prosciutto or something else,
I can
which
see
is also like a
prosciutto.
ham.
Yeah,
But
I
it
say
was,
prosciutto would be a good one.
yeah, something like that. And it was so fantastic. And it was on this thin crust. It was awesome. No sauce, just this like little buttery. Oh, it was awesome.
That sounds money, dude. You're
I
making
know,
me
right? You're
hungry
like,
now.
all right, I'm out.
I said, later.
um, so this was, Josh, this was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I so appreciate spending some time with you. We always see each other when we go out to events and get to spend some time there. But have you noticed, by the way, have you guys been, and I'm gonna ask this right here
Yeah, of
on
course.
camera with everyone. Have you guys seen, like, around your area, a spike in COVID cases? Like, are you guys lucky?
We have seen a spike here in Utah. We were one of the lowest states for a super long time. And then we got lackadaisical and we threw some big parties here, like legit big parties in Utah. And people, we had a spike over Halloween.
Yeah.
We saw drastic numbers. And actually they released yesterday that all of our hospitals are at 100% capacity, like the ICUs and things like that are 100% capacity. So, and actually, to be honest, my opinion's been very different on COVID. I've been sick during this thing. I've not had COVID. We've had friends. My brother had COVID. We were doing the whole quarantine thing. I didn't know anybody who was actually got super sick until last week, and we had a friend die from COVID. So complications of COVID. Went into sepsis, and she ended up passing away. So,
Oh man,
which
horrible.
that was the first case that we'd actually heard of somebody young and somebody healthy passing away from it. So,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things that I have a very different take on death. I mean, death, that's a whole nother conversation, but I
Oh, we could
believe
do a whole
that,
hour on that.
dude, just in that, I believe everybody has a time to go. And
Yeah.
when it's your time, it's your time. And I never want to see anybody suffer or struggle.
Right.
I mean, that's just terrible. But yeah, unfortunately, it was a struggle for her. So it made it real for us. It was the first time that I'm like, holy shit, this is something we need to take more serious than probably I have been.
Well,
So
this is some validation for those that are going to be watching this episode. It's going to be later from when we post it or when we recorded it. But this
Right.
is some validation for me. We've had, or in the surrounding area, like several people that we know just in the last week or two get COVID. And we have my daughter's birthday party coming up this weekend.
Ooh.
And it's going to be like 30 people in the house. And we literally just had a call. We brought the family together on a conference call. And we're like, listen, how's everyone feeling? And we haven't made a final decision yet, but everyone was like, maybe canceling is a good idea. And same thing as Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Like, I think that's going to be no go. And we're just going to do virtual things for now. Because if you remember in the beginning, Josh, like when it started, we all canceled everything. Birthdays, celebrations. Like, we're like, you know what? Let's not take chances. And I don't know why today should be any different, but because we started getting back and it's like a yo-yo, you're like, wait, no, I got to come back. And so, yeah, we're, you know what you just said is validation for us to kind of cancel it and just be cautious. I mean, the vaccine is right around the corner, and for everyone listening,
It's right there.
just be cautious, like take it easy. Be smart, take care of yourself and not think that today's the only day you have to go out and shop or go to a bar or go to a friend's house. Like, it's cool. Like, hang out. I'm like you, Josh. Like, I love the fact that you are in the house with your parents. I think that's awesome. Honestly, that's if I'm being completely honest about how I feel about family living in general, I think that's kind of how things should be. Like, those generations living together, learning together. It takes a village to
For sure.
raise a family, and the fact that you have that opportunity, just more kudos to you. Like, my wife and I and some friends are looking at some property in Colorado to move to together as a compound. We'll have each other's private homes, but in the exact same area, and wanting to bring more people together, and so that we can raise our kids together, like as a village.
There's just so many pros to it that we found. At first, it was a little bit different. Like my wife, especially, it took some it took some getting used to, but you find your boundaries very quickly. Everybody has their separate spaces. And like I said, we have a guest house, and we're very fortunate to have the home that we live in and our property and the size of it. And I would not have it any other way. My kids get more excited when my dad is home than when I'm home. They're like, Grandpa, yeah. And I get home, they're like, oh, hey, Dad. And I'm like, what the come on, guys, I'm home. So,
Hey,
but
I'm the guy that put the roof here.
exactly. But it's a ton of fun too. Cause me and my dad, I've talked about it on the show, like we're best friends. I love my mom, and like, it's just fun to have them so close. And what's interesting is to see, even I always said I would never parent like my parents parented me. And it's interesting because my parents have watched, and they're like, you do have a very different style of parenting. You can see some similarities from when we parented you. So it's actually kind of fun to kind of see the differences in too. And now how our kids act and some of those things, but it's just, I'd never have it any other way. So kudos to you and your family. Family's awesome. Family's everything to me, man.
Family is everything. And I love it. And it's fantastic. What a great message. What a great way to sort of wrap this up. And so I always ask this question at the end of every conversation. What are you going to do for the rest of the day?
Dude, I'm going to go home. We wrap things up for the rest of the day. I'm going to finish my drink. And then Monday's kind of I typically try to leave a little bit early. I don't know why Mondays in particular, but I get to go home. And actually, I got a small new piece to our climbing wall. I told you that.
Nice.
So I got a new piece of it, came today in Amazon. Yeah, I love Amazon doing this COVID thing.
Dude,
but
amazing.
Got a new piece. So I'm going to take that home and show my son and the little girl. They're going to be super excited about that. So I'll probably spend the rest of the evening climbing with the kids. So
I love it, man. I've done some climbing myself. There's nothing more fun than doing some free climbs. And so
love it.
One day we'll get together and we'll do that. Josh, so great to hear your voice and see you. Enjoy. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you.